Hello and welcome to Clearifying Tanakh Stories, working first with Avimelech. Hello and welcome to another episode of I Don't Understand What's Going On in the Tanakh. I'm Mr. Wolk and I'll be here to assist you in understanding this story that's sometimes a little bit difficult to understand. So just kick back, relax, and prepare to be clarified. Okay, to begin with, let's come up with some symbols that we can use so we don't have to spell out all the names of the biblical characters. Starting with Avimelech, the symbol we will use is Geblur Kimbar. Just kidding. The symbol we will use is A for Avimelech. As you know, Avimelech becomes the head guy in the town of Shechem. We're going to label Shechem S, and Avimelech is the head guy of the town. Now, at a certain point, starting with part B of the text, God comes along, and he sends a spirit of disharmony between Avimelech and the rest of the town of Shechem. So Avimelech is out. In fact, Shechem now hates Avimelech so much, they plant ambuscades against him. Those are like traps, keeping him from coming back into Shechem. At this point, a guy named Gaal comes to Shechem along with his little buddies, so G for Gaal, and the town of Shechem loves Gaal. They're so happy with him. Smileys. In fact, they are so happy that they have a big festival, and they drink a lot of Manischewitz. And while they're feeling a little, feeling awesome with their Manischewitz, Gaal is saying, oh man, this guy Avimelech, he is a total loser. In fact, he tells a story. He remembers a time, a long time ago, he says, back in the day, he remembers that Avimelech and a guy named Zvul used to be servants to the father of Shechem. Remember, Avimelech is the guy who's now on the outside, the old leader. And just to be clear, Zvul was kind of like the little helper to Avimelech. And Gaal is like, oh wow, if I could just have an army, man, I would totally fight against Avimelech. All I need is an army. Does he really want to fight against Avimelech? Or was it more likely the result of too many L'chaims? We'll let that one go without any speculation. Okay, so all of this is happening back in Shechem, where Gaal is having a little too many L'chaims. Meanwhile, Avimelech is out here. So Zvul, remember the guy who used to be the little buddy to Avimelech? Well, now Zvul is kind of like the sort of semi-leader, kind of mayor of the town. He's not as popular as Gaal, but he's like kind of in charge. And he hears what Gaal has just said about wanting to fight Avimelech, and he goes out of the town to Avimelech and says that there's this Gaal guy in town who wants to fight you, and you're going to need to take him. So he gives him a plan. He says what you should do is go hide by the town of Shechem, and then when the sun rises, you will be able to attack. Okay, so let's be clear here. So Gaal is now like the big champion of the town of Shechem. Zvul is kind of like the mayor. Zvul used to be buddies with, or like a helper to Avimelech, and Zvul has just gone and told Avimelech that Gaal wants to fight him, and that Avimelech should advance against the city, and he's hiding there. So at this point, Gaal comes outside of the city, and it's the morning, and Avimelech's troops come out from out of hiding. There's all these troops there. And then this weird conversation takes place. Because Gaal sees all these soldiers, and he's like, whoa, no, there's all these soldiers out there. But Zvul sees this, and Zvul goes, those aren't soldiers that you're seeing out there. Those are hills. And so Gaal, instead of getting ready to fight, is like, oh cool, I'm just looking at some hills. Nothing to worry about. But then a few minutes pass, and Avimelech's armies are really up on Shechem's grill, and at that point, it's a little late for Gaal to do anything. And Zvul is like, okay, tough guy, you said you were so ready to fight Avimelech before. Now's your big chance, buddy. Out the door you go. And Gaal goes out to fight Avimelech, and it's a total slaughter. There's nothing Gaal can do against Avimelech. He's totally nailed. And Shechem, remember that's where Zvul is? Zvul locks the door against Gaal, so Gaal can't even get back inside. So Gaal totally loses this battle, and we actually don't really hear from Zvul again. At this point, Avimelech is just like, oh man, he's out of control. He's so excited about this. So he hears about the role that Shechem has played, and he's ready to just attack Shechem. So there's all these people in the town, and they all go up into a tower, the Tower of El Brit. El as in God, Brit as in covenant. Unclear whether that's referring to the Israelite God or not, although Shechem is an Israelite town, to be clear. So the citizens all go up into the tower, and Avimelech hears about this. There's all these people up there in the tower. Avimelech hears about it, and among other things that you can read about, he lights the tower on fire, killing all the citizens of Shechem. About 1,000 men and women. But is Avimelech satisfied now? He basically owns Shechem? No, he's not satisfied. There's a town called Tebez. So he leaves Shechem and he goes to Tebez and he occupies the city. And what happens after that, you can read in the text. I hope that the adventures of Avimelech and his little friends are a little bit more clear now. You're able to keep the characters straight and your brain is not turned into guacamole. Thank you for joining us on this week's Clearification adventure.